Okay, today I'm talking to you about Section 8. What is Section 8? What does it mean to you as a landlord? Because you've heard probably some of the stigmas. One of those things being the first one, that the tenants are going to be riffraff. They're terrible people. They are welfare recipients. They're drug addicts. They're the Beverly Hillbillies without the humor. Whatever it's going to be, you've heard that. The other thing you've heard, number two, is that they're guaranteed to trash your house. And that it's just going to be irreparable. They're going to make a meth lab in it, then you can't sell the house, and everything, cats and dogs living together, total chaos. The third thing you've heard is that the paperwork is so labor intensive it's not worth doing, even if you get a check every month and it's like clockwork and it's the easiest thing in the world. It's not worth all the bureaucracy of dealing with the local municipality, blah, blah, blah. You've heard all that before. Okay, those three things, those three stigmas, nothing can be further from the truth. Let me tackle the first one, that everyone who's on Section 8 is a terrible person and are drug addicts. It's not true. It is absolutely not true. I took an application just yesterday from a great woman who has 3 kids and works full-time. She just doesn't make enough to be able to pay for housing and daycare and everything else that costs money. She just can't make ends meet as easily as she'd like. There's opportunities for her in the future, but right now she needs that help from Section 8. So she brought in her kids, and of course what happens when you bring children into a small environment and you're trying to do busy, they lose their minds. They go crazy. They start dancing on the table and they start doing what kids do. Well, she snapped her fingers and clapped her hands and threatened those kids, and they got into line in a hurry, much like I would do with my own kids, because they do the exact same thing. When we get into a small room or have visitors over, they lose their minds and all the training that we've given them. The second thing, that they're going to trash your house. Not necessarily. They're not more likely than any other tenant to cause damage or otherwise. In fact, I find that they're less likely simply because Section 8 will inspect the home once a year. They'll go out and make sure the tenant is doing what they're supposed to be doing. We had one recently, and they're actually fairly even-handed. We had an inspection recently where not only did the landlord have to repair the hallway carpet, but the tenant had too much clutter. And so Section 8 said, you get your clutter out, replace the hallway carpet, that's the end of it. These tenants don't want to lose their subsidy. They don't want to lose that rent check that they get paid for them, and so they keep the house in reasonable condition, and they do respond when you ask them to do things. Long story short, we replaced carpet, she cleaned up, everybody's happy, tenant's happy, landlord's happy, our owner's happy, we're happy. Let me tackle number 3, all the paperwork. There is more paperwork on a Section 8 than on a typical tenant. The reward for going through that and knowing what you're doing is getting a tenant in short order with a guaranteed rental stream coming in each and every month. You don't got to chase them. You don't have to knock on the door. You don't have to send letters. The money comes in usually on or before the 7th of each month. So you get a Section 8 applicant, you have to have an inspection. There are multiple items that they will always fail you on an inspection unless you know what they are. So there is paperwork to be done. There are things that have to be done a certain way. There are T's that have to be crossed, I's dotted. And for saving a little bit of everybody's time, I'm not going to go through all those details here, but if you give me a call or shoot me an email or somehow connect with me, I'll send you the list, the top 10 things that happens in Section 8 to cause problems. And when I say problems, that means not getting paid or not getting approved to rent to those tenants. So give me a call, shoot me an email, send me a carrier pigeon, I don't care. Just get in touch with me, I'll send it to you. You can call me always at 480-382-1199.